everybody! I've been having a lot of people ask me recently about how am I able to get all of my fabric strips rolled back up so neatly when I'm making my jelly roll rugs. Now I did make a video on this, but it's been quite a while, so I figured we can come together and kind of revisit it. Now you don't have to do this. This is something that I like to do. No matter what, you will have to kind of make this chaos more manageable after you have put all your fabric strips together. Now, some people like to just fan fold them. I like to do what I take my jelly roll strips into a cinnamon roll. Now, I used to do this without the PVC pipe, but I will show you why I like to do it with now better. This is a 1.5 inch Copeland PVC pipe. Now, don't let that confuse you. The 1.5 inch is not the width of this, but the diameter of this circle. So that is why we're using 2.5 inch strips, and we can put them on a 1.5 inch Copeland PVC pipe. After you have all your strips put together, I would put them, and you've cut off all your little extra pieces, I would put all your strips on the floor. They can be in a bucket, they can just be on the floor, whatever you like. I probably should have cleaned this up before I did this. All right. So you're wanting it to be on the floor directly in front of you. And let me go ahead and turn you guys around so I could show you what I am doing. Just a minute. Now the first part of this process is going to be the most annoying, is trying to get this first strip going. But you want to start with whatever the center of your rug is going to be. That is what's going to give you that nice preview. Now usually, sometimes I like to hold it up before I put it down and kind of overlap it a little, and then put it on the table. And what you want to do is use one hand to hold the fabric and one to roll. And you want to keep this nice and snug. You want to keep that tension. That's going to give us that really good preview and jelly roll on the strip. I do not press my seams, I do not press my seams with an iron or anything, but this is where I kind of press my seams. Once I get to this step, I just make sure that all my seams are pressing down before I roll it on over. And that really just gets it into position and trains those seams for me for when I get to that step later. Now, because I have all the strips down below me, this just keeps feeding on through. So I'm gonna keep my hand there. And when I get to those seams, press that seam down and keep going all the way until I get to the end. And sometimes if you run into that, if it gets twisted or anything, just pick it on up and we're gonna untwist and keep going. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just try to keep my eye and try to line this up. But if I notice I start going one way versus the other, or I get a little off, I don't worry about undoing it. I just try to line myself back up as I go. You can see here, I'm starting to not get completely even. I am not going to stress about it. I am just going to slowly start going this way as I keep rolling, because no one's going to see this final step. This is for you. This is for you to see. Do you like the way your strips have been arranged? It's also more manageable for you while you're sewing. No one has to see this step. So if you get crazy or crooked, it is not the end of the world. It is still going to accomplish what we need it to accomplish. Now that I've got it all rolled up, this gives me a nice little preview of if I'm going to like the arrangement of my rug or not. If you don't like what you see, now is the time to change it. But if you like what you see, it is now neatly put out of the way. You got your awesome little preview. And the reason why I started adding this PVC pipe is I like to take a paper towel holder to put my roll on. This way, as I'm sewing, it makes it easy, it makes it accessible, and I can keep it on top of my table while I'm sewing. It's been great. Hope that helps.